This is a short introduction to the first unit, which deals with the Old Croatian literature. First of all, it is important to define the time frame of Old Croatian literature. We can say that the Old Croatian literature encompasses all the literary works written in the Croatian language that have emerged since the beginning of literacy in Croat, which means since the 11th century, until the beginning of the 19th century. It includes all the prominent authors and distinguished literary works written during the medieval period, Humanism, Renaissance, Baroque, and the Enlightenment. Literature developed equally in all four Croatian regions, hence all the regions abounded with prominent writers and literary creations: Slavonia, Croatia proper, Istria and Quarner, as well as Dalmatia. We'll begin with Slavonia, which has a very rich literary legacy. One of the most important writers from Slavonia is definitely Anton Kanizic, who is famous for writing literary works with religious themes. One such is a devotional poem called Saint Rosalia. He is closely followed by Mate Anton Relkovic, who is famous for writing a didactic poem called the satire Elias the Wild Man, where he questions and ridicules the backwardness and moral issues in Slavonia. Another famous Slavonian writer is certainly Matija Petar Katančić, who is not only famous for writing his literary works, but also for translating the Bible into the Croatian language. Moreover, Croatia proper had equally rich literary heritage and was the center of Croatian literary Baroque. When talking about Baroque in Croatia proper, it is important to mention Anna Katarina Zrinski, who was not only a writer, but also a countess. Her most important literary achievement is the prayer book called Traveling Companion. Her brother, Fran Krsto Frankopan, was also a writer, and his most significant literary work was a collection of poems called The Garden in Which to Cheat Time, which was written during the last days of his life, while he was being held captive and eventually executed. It is also important to mention Juraj Hadalić and Titus Brezovački, famous for writing his comedy Matias the Sorcerer's Disciple, where he ridicules the vices of the society. When it comes to Istria and Quarner, it is important to mention that Quarner was the cradle of the Croatian literature, because it is the region where the first written monuments of Croatian culture were written, such as the Tablet of Baška, Vinodol statute, the Plomin inscription, the Krk inscription, and the Valon tablet. Finally, it is important to mention Dalmatia, which was the center of humanism and Renaissance. It generated one of the most famous Croatian writers, Marko Marulić, who is famous and remembered for writing the epic poem called Judith, which tells the story of the brave widow who saves her hometown. Equally important is Petar Zoranić, the author of the first Croatian novel, The Mountains, and Marin Držić, famous for writing comedies situated in his hometown Dubrovnik. One such comedy is The Miser. Dalmatia also generated important Croatian Baroque writers, such as Ivan Gundulić, known for his pastoral play Dubravka, which is also situated in the city of Dubrovnik, which was also inspiration to many of the Croatian writers.